welcome back to my channel. It's been a while. Actually, I have my friend over, Zuzka, who some of you might remember from the video we've done a couple of years back on our experiences whilst working in advertising in London. And today we would like to actually elaborate a bit more on our top experiences and lessons we've gained whilst living abroad.
We do really believe that living abroad is a great experience for everyone to have, and it can enrich your life in ways that perhaps you wouldn't even imagine. So we've singled out several topics that we want to touch base on and let you know our experiences of what we think is great about living abroad. First thing that you will gain from living abroad is independence. You will have to build your own base of friends, people that will become your family. What's even more exciting, I think, is that you will become more responsible for your life. You are becoming a real adult.
And I think it can be both as scary as actually reassuring, because even though it's quite a lot of responsibility, and lots of people who leave, they leave after studies or after high school, so they are sort of not ready for this massive jump. But I think once you actually do it, you will gain so much more self-confidence. It's gonna really pay off in the rest of your life.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the other things that you will, and the experience will force you to do, is to take care of your finances.
And I think this is a key point for me, because I think, especially I live in Poland, talking about money is not as obvious. People don't like to talk about money. They don't talk about money openly. And I think, especially when I lived in the UK, when I lived in London, this is a topic that was it was a normal thing. It was not like a taboo, And I think the key point is that when you think about living abroad, you need to be able to plan your own finances. So you need to be able to plan, how much do I make? How much do I pay for, the rent, all the sort of bills that I need to pay. If you're educating yourself, you need to think about paying for education. And something that is also a key in the UK, people always highlight it, I think, is that the savings and forward planning. So when you think about your pension, even though you might be 20 something, I think people think about it way more than they do, I think, in the culture that we live in here in Poland. So I think it's crucial that you will basically get better with managing your finances, and it will help you, and also help you as a person, or for your family for the future, to actually have control over how much you make, how much you spend, and how do you deal with those things.
Yeah, and another thing that we have really learned over there is to manage challenging situation. Obviously you are outside your comfort zone, you don't really have family, you maybe just moved there, you don't have many friends, and you're trying to find a job, or you got a job, you're trying not to get fired, and there will be lots of things that will be going on, I don't know, maybe you're in London and you're there for the second week and you get stuck in a tube, and the tube breaks down and you have to walk the tunnels, and then you get up and then there is night and you don't have a smartphone, and anything can happen, and what you'll learn is, apart from this little silly example, is that there will be difficult situations, challenging situations, but what you'll learn from it, you will grow, and you will learn how to manage stress, and most importantly, what you'll learn is to truly discern between what's important and what's not important. And I would also touch on what you said about learning how to deal with stress a bit better. So I think after I lived in the UK, the amount of stressful situations I've had, the amount of trouble I've encountered was so big that after I came back to Warsaw, it was easy peasy, yeah, I've been through this, I've been through that, and I know it's gonna be fine. So through dealing with those challenges and through dealing with stress, you build resistance to it. And I think this is also something that is gonna be very useful for you in your future life. Correct, and another point is, when we both talked about this, was appreciation. We let's say, living in this part of the world as opposed to the western part of the world, and having had the experiences and possibility of how much you worked and how much you had to sacrifice in order to get where you got, you come back and you realize things and you are really, really grateful.
So I think basically, if I can call it that way, in Central Europe countries, and the way our mentality works, we tend to like not appreciate a lot of things, and we tend to complain a lot. And I think whilst I was living in London, people could actually enjoy the little things. You know, your morning cup of coffee, I don't know, the lunch with your friends, going for a walk somewhere. I'm not talking about big stuff, because big stuff obviously, you know, it's exciting and, you know, you appreciate like travels and things, but about enjoying the moment, because, you know, however cliche it might sound, life is about all of those little moments, and if you learn how to appreciate them, you'll be a much happier person like on day-to-day basis.
Yeah, for instance, in London, you really do appreciate good weather. You know how ridiculous this might sound.
Yes.
You really get to appreciate a sunny day, right? You will never waste a sunny day in your life, I guess, when you're in that setup.
Yeah. We are spoiled in Poland. No matter how much people complain, we are spoiled. Maybe not this year, but overall, it's good.
And another thing which I think you are going to get out of this experience, that you will be in charge of your life. Sooner or later you'll realize that it is you and only you who is responsible for everything that is happening. So you will go through experiences and you'll realize that it is purely you who is going to charge in the direction that you want. You learn how to respond to things and take your life forward.
So I think also something that, I know I'm sort of coming back to it, but I think in our mentality here as central people, you know, like post-socialism and everything, that we tend to rely on like acquaintances quite a lot, because I know this person, they can get me this, they can get me that, maybe I can somehow go through it. And I think when you move abroad and you don't have this network of, you know, people you know, or you can actually use the connections to like, you know, get some benefits from it, you really learn that basically, you know, if it's your own work, your own person, your own CV, your own everything, it's very empowering as well. Could be quite stressful again, but this is something that will help you to deal with those situations. And basically, if you want to get this job, you will, you know, make sure that you pimp up your CV. You actually spend time preparing for the actual interview. You know, talk to people who might give you some insights. And I think in here, what I see quite a lot is that people think, yeah, whatever happens, happens. Oh, maybe this person can recommend me. Maybe this person can put me somewhere. And it's about losing the control over your life, losing the feeling of being in charge as much. And I think also there is like no room for victim mentality, like in the Western countries, I think. So it's not like, oh yeah, I had a bad luck, oh yeah, it's not my fault, it's their fault. I think from obviously our experience, it's not the same globally, but I think it's a valid point, is that there's no room for victim mentality. You should always think in a way that, yeah, I can do whatever I want. If I put the work into it, it's gonna work, and not put the blame on others, because it's not gonna give you results. You're just gonna feel less empowered, and you're gonna feel like, you know, you're out of control, because, you know, everybody else makes the decisions for you.
And last but not least is our favorite, that you get to experience different cultures, variety of cultures, and that's really, really exciting. You will learn how to deal with different types of people, and hopefully as a result of that you will become a better communicator, and you will become in general a better person at heart. So I think what happened to me, I met so many people at different ages, from different cultures, from different countries, different religions, completely different to me, where we wouldn't have any sort of like, you know, common points to talk through. So I think what was brilliant is to first learn about the variety in the world, and second of all, learn how to talk about anything with anyone. And this is the key point. I always say that it's so good to master in life, so that you can, wherever you go, wherever they drop you, you know, whether you go to States, I don't know, to, you know, like you go to some, you know, country in Africa or South America, if you learn how to talk to anyone about anything, and it doesn't have to be any big topic, because, you know, you don't want to go to like the risky subjects, you will really learn the soft skills and how to talk to people, how they respond, how do you build relations with people, and I think this is brilliant. You'll become more politically correct, for starters, and you know what? You will make some great friends, just like us do. And I think this was like one of the key points as well, because the reason we wanted to make this video is to tell you that living abroad is a brilliant experience, and I highly recommend it to everyone, and I repeat, everyone. And I'm not saying you have to go to London or you have to live abroad for 10 years, but even if you can, you know, get away for a couple of months or even weeks,
It will be a massively enriching experience that will, you know, push you out of your comfort zone and show you how beautiful and great the world can be, and also will help you how to deal with really difficult, challenging and stressful situations. So highly recommend it.
Great, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share your experiences of living abroad with us. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us thumbs up. And we will be looking forward to see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Ciao.